jmc6000 here with this week's JMC family review, and this week we're reviewing the all-new 2000, well, it's not all new, but the 2024/2025 Toyota Sienna minivan. So we have it here. Now, this is a 24 model. Let me clarify. This is a 24 model. I don't have the 2025 yet, but a lot of the stuff I'm going over, the 2025, hasn't really changed much outside of some of the interior treatments, which we'll talk about. And this is per a reviewer request that wanted us to do a family review on a Toyota Sienna. So I grabbed this leftover 2024 model, and we'll go over some of the differences the 25 has versus the 24 during this family review. So let's kind of get into it. So number one of the things that is staying the same between the two models, whether you get a 24 like this one or a 25, is the front end. The headlights, the grille, the fog lights. This doesn't have it because it's the LE model, but the fog lights, all of this that you see here is all staying the same. This is not changing at all, and that's good. I think there may be some grille changes with the new model, but pretty much the front end is absolutely staying the same. So let's go around the side here. Again, I have the window sticker right here. This is the Toyota Sienna LE all-wheel drive model, 8-passenger seating with a couple dealer-included options for a grand total of $42,405. $42,000 for an all-wheel drive minivan. You can't beat that. I mean, really, that's actually a pretty good deal. Now, the LE does have some things that are maybe missing, which we'll go over in the interior. But what you do get is 17-inch, kind of darkly finished alloy rims. They're sitting on two 35/55 R17s, front and back. You can see you get your sliding glass doors. You also have in the back here, one of the things I didn't mention up front is, up front, it's all LED lighting. LED turn signals, LED headlights. The LED headlights actually dub as the daytime running light. This doesn't have the fancy daytime running light system. You got to get some higher trims in order to get the fancy daytime running lights. But on the back here, now the back is a little bit more simplistic. I don't know of any changes that Toyota's done. As you can tell, it's raining out here. I don't know of any changes Toyota's done on the back of the 2025 versus this 2024. But what we have here is everything's all incandescent. Tail lights, brake lights, turn signal, backup light, all incandescent. Now on the higher trim models, they trade in the incandescent for LED running lights that actually go into the bumper slit here. But I believe the turn signals and the backup lights are still incandescent. And then we do have an LED brake light right here. Now, let's go ahead and open up the back. This being an LE is not power, it is manual. Now, this particular does have the all-weather floor mats. It does come with the optional first aid kit, cargo net, but you can see plenty of room back here because this is a minivan. Now, on some trims of the Sienna, you can get an optional vacuum, built-in vacuum. That's a kind of a new thing for 2025. We have this little compartment right here where the 12-volt battery is. Look at that. And some jack stuff and everything. This does come with a regular spare tire. That regular spare tire is actually located underneath the vehicle, and you can get to it that way. So we're going to go ahead and close this up. Again, if this was power, this is where the button would be, but it is not powered, it is manual, so I have to close it manually. Let's go ahead and look underneath the hood before we go and do the actual JMC family review of the inside. Let's talk about what's underneath the hood while we're here. This does come with Toyota's hybrid system, which combines a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated Atkinson 4-cylinder engine. It does run direct and port injection. As you can see here, pretty simple engine to work on. You can check everything. I can take this engine cover off. You can see all your spark plugs are right here, coils. You have your direct injection. You also have port injection. This does have Toyota's D4S system. It does use a variable intake and exhaust cam timing. And it does run Toyota's very thin 0W16 oil, so something to keep in mind. This does have a cooled EGR that kind of gets pumped into the intake right there. The cooled EGR is right there. And I'll put this back on. This right here is the hybrid system. You have the DC to DC converter. You also have the transmission underneath, which uses 2 electric motors. And that being that this is all-wheel drive, this has a 3rd electric motor, which is located all the way in the back that just drives your rear wheels. So you actually have a total of 3 electric motors. You have 2 on front of the transmission, one that actually starts the engine, and once the engine's running, it generates power to put back into the battery. And then the 2nd electric motor is what they call the traction motor that actually drives the front wheels, and at times the engine can be connected to the traction motor and actually help provide more power to drive this massive vehicle. So I'm not going to get into that, but a very simple hybrid system. Toyota's been using this for a long, long time. I believe total system output, I believe, is right around 236 horsepower. Let me double check on that, if I remember correctly. No, 245 horsepower. I was a little off. So you got total system output of 245 horsepower. Toyota doesn't publish torque because the torque is kind of multiplied between the engine and the electric motors. So we don't have a combined torque, but I wouldn't be surprised if torque is getting close to 300 pound-feet if you combine everything all at the same time together. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to switch the camera around right here to my son, who is going to continue with the JMC family review. All right, it does.
The door is like powered. It's weird.
It does have standard power sliding doors on both sides, which is nice. Again, on the LE, no standard power lift gate. That is still manual. And then the seats
the seats are
manual, a little bit difficult. And then let me see if my son can try to figure out how you got the lever there, and then this lever here is what moves it back and forth in the track. Then you got to put that down.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
All right, and then if you want to adjust a seat as far as, fore and aft, you have to use that right there.
You have to use the lever,
yeah.
Which is going to be a bit weird, per se.
So anyway, well, JMC family review. I know you're not all the way back. You can if you wanted to. No, is there a bar?
No, there's not.
No, you got to use that. There you go. Anyway, you can pretty much lounge out in a minivan.
In the world did you move
Yes,
yourself
sir.
back? I can't.
Oh, look at this. Oh, the power.
That is for the that's for the aircon controls for the back here. We have vents in the ceiling. We also have cup holders right here. We have some power outlets.
Reminds me
right
of
there.
a Subaru with the vents in the ceiling.
4 cup holders. Though.
Only 4 cup holders back here.
1, 2, 3,
and 2 or 1 in each door.
Yep. Doors are powered though, which is nice. It has a button right there.
It has a button right there, and you got some massive grab handles. And then for little kids, you have one down here.
Yeah.
And one up here, one down here. Anyway, so family, how is the Toyota Sienna for a family perspective?
Do you know how to switch?
Where is the switch?
For what?
Oh, Amber's not intelligent.
What switch are you looking for?
The switch to move her chair back.
Oh, it's only at the bottom. It's not a switch. It's a big plastic lever.
Oh, I just thought that was like.
I feel like I could tear this off.
Yes.
Yes, it's not the highest quality back here. But anyway, how's it feel back here? Or how's it feel for, is this a family approved vehicle?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No?
But I would like for it to have more cup holders.
That would be nice to have some more cup holders. Josiah, why do you say it's not a family approved vehicle?
Well, first of all, this seat doesn't move back, and it's like the smallest out of the
So
two,
this seat we can totally remove out of here, which is nice. I can totally take the middle seat out
This
in
seat
that row.
follows your seat.
Yes, it's kind of connected to this. It's not separated like in the Explorer.
Yeah, which is.
I get my own.
You do get your own armrest, which is nice.
But you have to share with the person in the middle.
Ooh, wait. Different.
Malachi, is there any USB ports or anything like that back there?
There's 2 different types.
Okay.
USB-C.
And we got some USB ports up here. So we got yay and 1 nay
Yay.
for a family.
Yay.
And why do you say nay again, Josiah?
Holders back there.
Doesn't.
What's the
It doesn't
issue?
speak family for some reason.
What do you
Really?
mean? It's a minivan.
It's a minivan. They're designed around families.
But,
Look at that. Amber already.
Oh, it's got a
described herself.
sunshade. That's pretty cool. That's standard.
Favorite thing.
But
That's
here's
standard.
The thing, though, the doors, they're like coming out of like like a new 2000 stuff. Like Like, what is this?
Come on now, don't upset it now.
I can lock
Yeah,
my
like-
door.
You can do that on the.
You can do that on
Explorer.
any door, Amber.
Not
No,
like
you
this.
can't. Not,
Oh, okay, yes, I know what you're saying.
Explorer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
not the
true,
Explorer.
but
Yeah.
That's for like safety reasons.
So, I would say, I mean, the argument is for minivans, it's probably one of the quintessential,
Press that
most
button on there.
family vehicle you can
It
get.
closes the door.
Just
Daddy.
they have like a little,
Right,
like,
it
I don't
closes the
know,
door.
pocket thingamajigger over here.
Oh, now let me ask this: how was quality in this thing? Like, how did the
Quality,
plastics feel? The
comfort.
cloth.
Comfortability.
Yes, it is
No,
nice.
I don't.
Hold on, Dad.
feel it.
Watch out. Just press that button.
No.
What
Yeah.
button
I
are
know
we
what it
pressing?
does, Malachi.
Yeah. You don't have to go over there. Just
What
press that
button
button.
does it do?
It closes the door.
Press it, Amber. See what happens.
And no, the door's already closed.
I think
No,
it
it
opens the
opens
door
it.
as well. Yeah.
Oh, it does. Oh,
Magic.
snap.
Oh man! All right, well, let's go ahead and hand the camera back to Josiah. We're going to go ahead and do the upfront review and kind of make sure we say about the differences for the 2024 to 2025 model. So let's do that right now. All right, we're back inside the 2000. Just want to make mention, this is a 24 Sienna, but I wanted to kind of go over the differences, even in this base model, between the 24 and the 25 on the Sienna. So we just got done with the family portion of this review. Now, some of the major differences that Toyota's bringing to the 25 Sienna, it's not a big refresh. It's very, very mild. Like I said, not a lot of outside changes. Powertrain is staying the same. It's all hybrid. No matter if you get the base LE all the way up to the top of the line, I believe, limited. But what's changing on the inside is going to be this system here. No longer are we going to use Toyota's Entune system, but it's going to, I believe it's Toyota's multimedia, digital something, whatever their newest system is, that's in the Tundra, that's in the new Tacoma. I reviewed this system that's in several other new vehicles. Finally, for 25, the Sienna is ditching this older system and going with that newer system. This system's okay. It does not have wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You have to have a wired connection for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay via the USB port. One of the great things about what Toyota did, or what they kept the same versus the 24 and the 25 model, is kind of how the dash is laid out. Again, we're going with a bigger screen. They're Toyota's newest system. I believe a lot of the climate controls are staying the same. A lot of the dash design is staying the same. And also, what Toyota's doing is the gauge cluster is changing. So they're getting rid of the kind of the basic, analog, and with the little tiny, 40.2 inch screen in the center. And the standard screen is now going to be a 6.5 inch screen in the center, where you got two analog. And then on the higher trim models, you can go full digital. So finally, Toyota's bringing a full digital screen to the Sienna. And the bigger screen with the analog is going to be standard, even on the base LE trim. So that's the biggest changes that Toyota is doing. Plus, there's some other things, the whole occupant protection safety system, where if you leave the vehicle, it can detect if you left somebody in the vehicle or left an animal in the vehicle. It can alert you by phone or by text or whatever, or do a horn beep and everything else. That's great. That's awesome. But I mean, I think the biggest changes for the 25 Sienna are going to be the gauge cluster and the driver infotainment screen. And there's a few other changes I'm not going to go over right now, but you got to look at it this way. Do you want to save some money and see if you can find a 24 model like I did here? And I'm sure, dealers are working out deals to where you could probably get this for about 40 grand, maybe shave a couple grand off. Or you can go ahead and see if you can get reserved for one for a 25 model if you want the newer Toyota latest generation system that does have wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. Very great system, and with the updated gauges. But let's go over my likes and dislikes, pros and cons of the Sienna while we're in the interior. So let's go over my likes first. Number one like has to be the space. I mean, you cannot argue that minivans are the king of space. They really are. They maximize as much space as they can. Blows my Explorer out of the water for space. I mean, you have cup holders galore. You have this beautiful shelf right here. You can stack all kinds of stuff on. You have this deep cavernous, this center here where you got some extra more USB charging options and all that. Cup holders, 1, 2, 3, 4 right up front here. Plus you got a couple in the door. So a minivan and space is like peanut butter and jelly. They just go hand in hand. And the Sienna has it in spades. It really, really does. I think this is the king of space, even more so than the Chrysler Pacifica with its whole stow and go seating. But you don't get stow and go seating, at least not in the middle, if you happen to get the hybrid Pacifica. But we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, number 2 like that I have for this Sienna has to be the smooth powertrain. Yes, the hybrid powertrain doesn't provide a ton of power. And the Chrysler Pacifica actually has more power, more standard power than its V6, but it's a smooth powertrain that provides 30 miles per gallon on the highway. All day long, it'll do 30 miles per gallon on the highway. It's rated at 36. It was doing a little bit less for me, but I am in 42-degree weather, and it's raining, and it's wet out. So it could be account for something why it's not doing as high as it could. But, I mean, it'll do 30, maybe even plus that on the highway. So again, great powertrain, very smooth, quiet, and of course, it provides excellent fuel mileage. Is there a lot of power? No, but I believe there's enough, and it has some good off-the-line torque with the electric motor. So that's a nice option there. And then final like that I have for the Toyota Sienna is it's not that bad looking. I mean, it's actually a decent looking minivan. Looks are subjective, I know, but it's a decent looking minivan. It doesn't look like a blob going down the road. It has a little bit of style to it. So I do appreciate what Toyota's doing there. Now, some dislikes, and this goes for not only, well, for right now, this is not only for the 24, but the 25 as well. And this may speak a little bit more to the LE, but some dislikes. Number 1, as much as nice as this interior is, as far as space and everything, it's kind of cheap. And that's one thing that Toyota didn't really change much, is the cheapness feeling of this interior. Now, granted, for 42 grand, I don't even get a leather wrap steering wheel. This is kind of a hard rubber steering wheel. Everything on the dash, it's all hard plastic. It's plastic fantastic. You do get some nice stitching and some vinyl down here, and well, this is still hard plastic, but this is nice. The faux wood is okay. I think a lot of this is changed up for 25. But other than that, the dash design, the hard plastic, that's all the same for the 25 model year. This is nice and padded. And I do like how the door armrest is a little bit padded, and you got some padding up here, but everything else is kind of cheap, hard plastic. And I wish Toyota would have done something a little bit more interior quality, especially your touch points that you kind of touch with this thing were a little bit better quality. Some of the surfaces, like okay, you can't see it, but over here, I have this little shelf here, and over here, this is really cheap, scratchy, it feels like it's out of a $20,000 Corolla. Anyway, it's a 42 grand vehicle. Come on, Toyota, you can do better. And I was hoping they would improve the interior a little bit more for the 25 model year, but they didn't really, except for the screen and the gauge cluster. Anyway, number 2 low light on this Sienna that I have come across is one of the things that I've noticed is, yes, it is quiet going down the highway. I don't know how I should put it, but it feels like there's a ton of body movement. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but you can tell it's a big, heavy, tall van, and it kind of wallows a little bit. It's not the most secure feeling. Maybe that's just me. I'm just, you got to drive one for yourself, let me know, but it's not the most secure feeling. Maybe it's because I'm driving around in a rear-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive SUV that's very stable, very, it wants to, maneuver and get in people's way. But this thing is just yeah, I'm down the road, I'm cruising. Please don't take any turns fast. Please don't do any swift maneuvers. I'm just a van. I get that. I understand that. But it's kind of okay. Anyway, that's number 2. Finally, number 3 is for 42 grand, there's a lack of options. I wish it had, you have power sliding doors. Why don't I have power liftgate? Why don't I have a leather wrap steering wheel? Why, you know, I don't even have lumbar on these seats, but yet they're full power. It's kind of weird. I have fore and aft is power, up and down is power, and the backrest is power, but no lumbar. It's like, okay, all right. And I know Toyota may change some options for 2025, something to look into, but something to think about, especially in the base LE. Don't get me wrong, I like the base LE. I think it's a great option package. One of the bonus things that I like about this thing has to be this right here. And then you got some sport mode action going on here. That's cool. It's not a dial. It's not a thing or crazy joystick on the steering wheel or on the steering column. It's actual traditional shifter. It's not leather wrapped, but at least I have a traditional shifter. Thank you, Toyota, for giving me a traditional shifter. So, other than that, I had this little conversation mirror. It is so small. I just now noticed that. One of the things I don't have is no place to put my sunglasses. I would have to find someplace up here. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of storage in this thing. There's just some odds and ends that are missing. I do get a nice map light, and this thing does go like that, which is awesome. I do like these. So anyway, just a basic day-night mirror. That's it. You can do manual adjustments, nothing fancy. But it's kind of my overall review on the Toyota Sienna. I would say is if you're looking for a minivan, and there's only about 3 manufacturers left besides Toyota. You have the Kia Carnival, and then you also have the Chrysler Pacifica. And now, from what I understand, Chrysler just brought back the Voyager, which is like their base minivan if you don't want the Pacifica. I would say look at the Sienna first. It's going to be the most fuel efficient, probably the most reliable, and I think it's going to be the most, as far as catering to families. I would choose this minivan over the upcoming Carnival Hybrid. Now, if you care about power, maybe the Carnival Hybrid would have some more power. What's nice about the Toyota van is that you can get this in all-wheel drive. Not a lot of minivans are doing all-wheel drive. Chrysler Pacifica, if you want to go hybrid, you forgo the all-wheel drive. The Carnival doesn't even offer all-wheel drive. So, if you want all-wheel drive and you want the fuel mileage, this is pretty much it if you're looking for a minivan. So anyway, this has been JMC6000. Thank you for tuning into this review. I may do a down the road review. In fact, you know what? Stay tuned for that. That is coming, and we'll talk about it a little bit more as we go down the road in this van. Thank you. All right, JMC6000 behind the wheel of the 2024 Toyota Sienna. Again, the 25 model year. Behind the wheel, nothing's really changing as far as the powertrain, how it's going to drive. Again, one of the things that wanted to be mentioned, one of the downsides is you're driving a box, you're driving a van. It's not going to be sporty, it's not going to be like this super fast thing. Just to kind of get that out of the way. Again, I'm not going to have my driver review long. I'm not able to go over my traditional hill. I'm on the highway, but man, getting on the highway, I had my foot buried, and it felt like it took forever to get on the highway just to get up to speed. But as of right now, it does drive smooth. There's no vibrations. There's no, how can I put it, doing 75, 76 on the highway, getting about 30 miles to the gallon, so you can't beat that. Again, it feels like you're driving a box. There's no way of getting around it. You're not going to go You're not going to go canyon carving in this thing. But at the same time, it's a smooth van. It's a quiet van. The seats are somewhat decent here in the LE. Yeah, and the brakes feel fine. What's nice is you can do regenerative braking in this thing, and I always love that about hybrids is regenerative braking. And this has a nice regenerative braking system. But other than that, nothing much to report here behind the wheel. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Appreciate everyone that's tuning in. Stay tuned. I got more videos coming, please. And yeah, you guys be blessed. Have a wonderful day, and we will catch you on the next one.